Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the Clown EDC Coffee with Colleen. Colleen is actually out of town today, so it's Mocha's with Mitch. And today we are joined with Beth Pratt. She is the executive director of the Sequim Valley of Commerce, Chamber of Commerce. And she's going to tell us a little bit about the 2025 plans for the chamber and go into a few exciting programs upcoming as well. So without further ado, go ahead, Beth.
Thanks, Mitch. Thank you all. I see a lot of familiar names on the screen here and some that I don't know, so I'll quickly introduce myself. As you just heard me talking, I am from Oregon. I've been on the Peninsula 20 years this year. I grew up in the Portland area mostly, but went to school in Eugene and finished at Portland State. Moved up here in 2005 because I wanted to change everything. I'd never heard of a Sequim, and in 2005, we all can remember back, try searching for a town you can't spell. Um, and so a girlfriend brought me up here for the first time in May of 2005, and I moved on October 30th of 2005 to the Peninsula. I have always lived somewhere between Agnew and Joyce the whole time I've lived here, although some folks know me because I was the activity director at the lodge at Sherwood Village and Sequim for 10 years. So a lot of folks saw me in my town car, my bus, cruising around with my buddies in crime. And then I went on to work for Parkview Villas in Port Angeles in marketing for a few years as a very active member of both the Sequim and Port Angeles chambers, and got more involved with the Forks Chamber as well, which was a real treat because then I got to volunteer at the Twilight Festival, which was just, it's an amazing experience that if you have not ever gone out and volunteered to help the Chamber of Commerce and Forks throw that event or bought tickets to go yourself, you're missing it. Even if you don't love Twilight, it is the most joyful, fun celebration of fandom that I've ever attended. So that was sort of how I got myself plugged into the chamber. It led to a seat on the board for the Hospital Foundation, and I get to work on those committees for several of the events, which has just been a great way to meet other professionals in the area and get connected and just learn more about what all the businesses in the economy of this area really are about, what our culture is, what are we striving for together, what are we competing to win together, to borrow a phrase from the EDC last year. So anyway, that's a little bit about me, and I've been with the chamber now since November of 2021. I came in behind COVID closures and no in-person events for a year and a half, and I had the pleasure of getting to stand up the pillars again, if you will, and open the doors to the visitor center 6 days a week. My first 6 months, I worked a Tuesday through Saturday schedule because we had some volunteers that chose not to come back to the visitor center in Sequim. And so just to make sure we were open, it was important to me that we not only honor our contract to operate a visitor center, but that we're available to our community to provide that service. And some of the questions we get are just, funny, and some of them are important, and some of them are difficult, and some of them are sticky, some of them make no sense, and we need to be there to answer the phone to try to help folks find the answers that they're looking for and connect them to where they're trying to get to. So, in any new role, coming in as an executive director to an established organization that is 95 years old this year, our 100th birthday will be in 2030. And yes, I'm already kind of in the back of my brain letting that noodle around back there as I think about it. So here we are 3 years later. This is my fourth year in the chair. So, what's coming up for the Sequim Chamber? So I put together a little slide deck to kind of talk to as I go through this. So do I have permission to share screen, you guys?
Yeah, I'll make sure you have it. And then just a
Fantastic.
couple of housekeeping items before we kick off. If everyone
Great.
can remain on mute, that'd be great, just so we don't pick up any inadvertent background noise. And then if you have any questions throughout, go ahead and throw them in the chat or raise your hand. Beth, are you okay with questions throughout, or do you want to wait till the end?
I'll just open the chat window here so I can see it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad to. If I miss you, like, throw a hand up and I'll try to keep my eyeballs on it. I'm sure Mitch will help keep me honest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Will do.
I also apologize in advance. If a cat jumps through the screen, I have no control. So I've done my best to blur the disaster in the background that may include cats running around, but we'll hopefully not be interrupted too much today. So as soon as I've got that permission, I'll go ahead and get the screen up here.
Okay. Laura, do you see that screen share option?
Yep,
Oh,
you
there
should
we
be good
go.
to go.
There
Oh,
we
good to
go.
go.
Thank
All right.
you.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you. There we go. Where is it? There it is. Okay, and we're going to go from the beginning here. So we are the Sequim Valley Chamber of Commerce. It's a mouthful. You're welcome to shorten it to Sequim Chamber. I do all the time. We are a business membership organization with nonprofits, businesses, and individual members. And our membership totals are about 365 right now, with 6 platinum partners that make an extra investment to support our programming. But I thought I'd start with our leadership team. And as you can see, there's some familiar faces on this screen. Mitch is our president-elect this year. He'll be coming in as president for 2026. So he was my treasurer this past year, and helped me work out the budgets and went through the reviews with us every month. Colleen Robinson is on the call today as our president for 2025. She and I had our first official meeting as director and president just yesterday to set up for our board retreat that's coming up. We're both really excited about this year. Our executive team to round it out, Julianne Kuntz with Costco, who works in inventory and corporate services. Darren Liggins of Liggins Landscaping is taking on our membership seat. And Erin Kennedy was our president for 2024. She's our 25 past president. And you can see we have a great slate of directors. Newly elected this year were Sarah Nichols, Laura Stanton, and Ginger. I'm not going to say it out loud because I'll butcher it. From Olympic Bluff Cidery and Lavender Farm. They were elected this year. And JC Wakefield was on our ballot, and our board elected to vote her in as a courtesy seat. We do have open courtesy seats. They're non-voting members, but otherwise completely involved in the discussion, committee work, and volunteer opportunities for our board of directors. Rounding it out, we have Robert from the Game Farm, Sheila with, she's retired, but she's still very active with the Olympic View Community Fund, Heather Nelson with OMC, Eric with Tedesco's, and Denise Kettle with Seven Cedars. It's an amazing team, but I have to say the day-to-day, it's the staff that's there every day that I couldn't do it without. I dread the day somebody tells me that they're going to retire, move on, or find another position. But I know that someday it's going to happen, and I will cry. But I have Kendall Melton as our membership coordinator. Kendall came to us as an intern in 2023 winter term. And after the abrupt passing of Nancy Merrigan, who was in that seat in early 2024, I reached out to Kendall and said, "You interested in a part-time real gig?" And so she's been with us for the last year. She's doing a great job, and one of our minted 4-year degree holding students from Peninsula College from the management program. And Melanie Sands, who's our financial administrator, whose anniversary with us is on February 1st. It will be 10 years that she has served the Chamber of Commerce. So she is a wizard. She came from Wyoming resort land, where she did a lot of HR and financial services work. She not only takes care of our financials, she schedules the volunteers and helps make sure that everybody's on board with our volunteer crew, make sure the training's accurate, their information is up to snuff for what we're sharing with people that walk through our doors. And she also handles the books for a couple of other local organizations. We're under contract for bookkeeping for the Irrigation Festival in Sequim, as well as working with organizations like the Community Christmas Chorus that only comes together once a year for 3 concerts over a weekend. We help them by running their financials through our systems so that they don't have to go out and source their own for just that small project. And for those of you that don't know, that is a gathering of singers across the peninsula for a Christmas concert in Sequim. Every year it's over the first weekend in December, and they contribute the ticket sales, and the tickets are by donation, suggested donation. And then after they're all accounted for, they make a donation to a local nonprofit that they feel they want to support. So it's a real win-win for us to support them as they support our community in return. I thought I'd start with a quick look back at 2024. We had a really good year. We had some challenges. We had some unexpected passings, both staff and, as I said, and volunteer. We lost a volunteer, and one of our volunteers lost her husband, all kind of at the same time. It was a bit of a go in the winter, but we have one heck of a leadership team, as you just saw, and we just kept chugging forward and focused on our mandates. So we were just tickled to see some recognition and some awards. It was a real honor to be included in the Who's Who magazine this past year, and to be honored by the Seroptimists, whose organization I value greatly. The work that they do in our community for women is just outstanding. United Way honored us with the Live United Award for the Chamber. And thank you, EDC, for a nomination last year as Olympic Leader of the Year. That was not on my bingo card for 2024. It was a shock. And we were able to work with a company called CGI, who produced video content. You'll see their videos on our homepage, as well as on Clallam County's homepage. And we were able to use some of those videos in our directory of videos, if you will. So when visitors come looking, or if businesses are looking for information, we have 6 different videos attached. And one of our videos was nominated for an award within the company. It didn't win, but I wanted to throw that in there. I was really proud of our board of directors, some of whom are just not camera people that want to be speaking to a microphone. And I just had to say, look, it's going to get edited. It's going to be fine. Everybody was fantastic. And so if you've ever, get a chance to check those out, those are really great videos at swimchamber.com.
No big deal. Lori and I did make an appearance in the videos, so you might want to go
Rock
check them out.
stars.
Thank you.
Rock
Thank you.
stars.
I'll drop that link in the chat. So
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep going.
Thank you. Please do.
Yeah.
And we did some new things for 2024. The big one was a kind of a last minute brainstorm about trying to support our merchants. One of the things in Sequim is the layout of the town makes festival production make a lot of sense at Carrie Blake Park. Great parking, big spaces, a stage, a building. It's a wonderful facility for festivals, but it moves all the festival people away from the downtown core. And so in order to support our downtown businesses and across town businesses, like think Sequim Village Marketplace, like Full Moon Candle, the Mariner Cafe, they're a long way from Carrie Blake Park. And if you're coming to a festival and you're not familiar with our town, you might not find them, but people do find us. And so when they came in, we generated some shopping bags with a graphic that was actually a photo that we ran through some filters of Olympic Bluffs Lavender Farm, and created a tote bag program with a coupon printed insert for local sales. And we were able to really get some promotional movement with that and earn a little income for the chamber, which was great. We were able to secure grant funding and purchased a portable, like a pop-up booth with walls and new signage. So now we can set up a visitor center anywhere, which is just fantastic. And it's bright purple, so it stands out. Both Elk on a Shelf and Birdfest, BirdQuest, which are programs, and I'm glad to answer questions about what those are if anybody has questions. With this screen set up this way, I no longer can see the chat, so I'll warn you that right now, Mitch. Those are programs that have sort of gotten loose, if you will, where there was sort of a volunteer running it or a merchant had picked it up. We re-centralized those and kind of brought them back in-house, still working with those volunteers and the merchants. These are not profit centers for us. These are pass-through. We take in the contribution from participants, and that's what we use to purchase all the gifts and prizes at the end. But it was great to go ahead and bring those back and really have our arms wrapped around what are our promotional programs throughout the course of the year for our members. We were able for the first time to close Washington Street during the lighted tractor cruise this year. That one was huge. In 2023, I almost got hit by a car, and that's not an exaggeration. I stepped in front of a car because a little kid ran out into traffic, and I absolutely had it. We have got to find a way to make this safer, but closing streets, as the city of Sequim will tell you, it's an expensive endeavor, and there's a lot more moving parts than you would expect. So thank goodness for the lodging tax fund and for the committee willing to invest in giving us that funding to make it a secure event that gives us a launch pad to make it a tourism destination. I have grandiose dreams of Hallmark holiday movies being made in Sequim centered around a lighted tractor cruise. I can assure you of that. So I'm very excited that this step really gave us a springboard for this year and the coming years to create a really big bump for our merchants and our community around celebrating the holidays over that Thanksgiving weekend, with the cherry on top being that lighted tractor cruises after we light the Christmas tree downtown. Earlier in the year, we had been working since summer of 23 with the county on what is called a Type B amendment. It was designed to permit prescriptively the retail businesses happening at farms across the Dungeness Valley that operating for 20 years without proper licensing or whatever, the rules were going to be very costly to new farm owners as the rules were being enforced. So we went to the county and said, how can we change this? And a Type B amendment didn't solve everybody's problems. It didn't change signage rules. It didn't change ingress, egress, building permit issues. But what it did do was create the structure for using your farm to generate value-added product and earn an income. Our farms do not support families easily in Washington, let alone out here on the peninsula. And our lavender farms are not the only beneficiaries of this. Flower farms, food farmers, all of it. The changes are fantastic. And then at the end of all of that, our county commissioners made a declaration that July is henceforth lavender month. So that was exciting. Oh, and I see I screwed up one of my bullets. There was the other thing. We did a massive IT upgrade in the chamber. I see I missed an enter. So we upgraded from, my predecessor had set us up with Microsoft 365, but it was a personal account, not a business account. And we couldn't figure out why our emails were bouncing all over the place. So we were able to upgrade that. And then when our color copier said, I'm done working for you now, we were able to reach into our reserve fund and purchase a new color copier. So we were very grateful to POE for working with us and keeping our contract costs under control for maintenance on our new machine, which we're very grateful to have. So that's sort of how we ended the year.
It was a big year.
It was a big year,
Yeah.
but now here comes 2025. It's already the 22nd of January. What are we doing now?
Go. Oh man, I got a question in the chat for you. Daniel asked, what are the requirements for membership?
So the requirements for membership, there's an application. You choose your level of investment, and you can see on our website, you go to sequimchamber.com, go to the join tab. It'll show you the benefit tiers. A business doesn't need to be of any particular size. You do not have to operate in our technical geographic region. We have a number of members both in Port Townsend and in Port Angeles. It's not unlikely to see that happen because we have benefits that other chambers may or may not have. And currently there's no chamber in Port Townsend. So for folks looking for business health trust access, promotional access, a member directory that gets searched 20,000 times a year. So we see that, but the requirements are pretty simple. If you're operating and serving customers in our region, you're welcome to apply to join. The requirements are not stringent. There aren't a bunch of them or anything. It's, if you're serving folks in our community. And then we have, like I said, from individual up to what we call our platinum tier. So there are 5 different ways to join. At the individual tier, you're just showing your support. We don't put you in the directory with your home address or anything, unless you want us to. But our bronze tier is where most of our members come in. It's only $205 a year. It's less than $20 a month for a couple ads in the newsletter every year, monthly announcements, and access again to that directory. And we're going to talk a little bit about some statistics on our website and why the directory is the most valuable thing we have. Does that answer your question, Daniel?
It does. Thank you so much. I'll be looking
you're
into
welcome.
it.
Thank you. So coming in 2025, I thought I'd start with the easy stuff. This is stuff we do every month. So we do, First Security Bank reached out and said, we tried to do a networking event, but we would like to partner to make this go. And I said, I would love to have a morning network event. One of the things I recognize is that sectors of our economy have pockets of time at different times of the day. So some folks cannot get to a luncheon. Some folks cannot get to an after hours event, but 8 a.m. for a coffee for a 30-minute stop to make some new connections or touch base with your chamber, it's a great opportunity. So we work with First Security Bank, and Rain Shadow Cafe provides the coffee because, as Dom says, there's no reason not to drink good coffee. So we have Rain Shadow Coffee at that event, and different members have chipped in to bring snacks, or Dungeness Court brought really great breakfast. I think it was December. So that's every second Tuesday. which for those of you that are longtime members of the chamber, you may remember we used to do 2 lunches a month. I came on board and went, why would I do that? So, so we looked at that second Tuesday and said, let's do that then. So on the second Tuesday of the month at 8 a.m., come on to First Security Bank, no cost. Come have a cup of coffee, meet new friends, find new partners and new opportunities. And then our luncheons are the 4th Tuesday. We have several special luncheons. I highlighted a couple here a year, including our picnic in the park and our Citizen of the Year luncheon. Citizen of the Year is coming up here in February. We'll talk about that in a second. And our picnic in the park is in August. Last September, we started what I hope is a new tradition with lunch at OTA with a theater preview for the year. That was a super fun event. So those are some of the things we do. The other monthly event we do that I didn't create a flyer for, we don't have any scheduled hard right now on the calendar, but we offer the opportunity for our members to host an after hours if they choose. We don't mandate that we have one every month. We usually do one at the visitor center in December ourselves, just to invite everybody over to come and visit and just celebrate the holiday with us. So those are open right now. We're scheduling them now for this year. So if anyone on this call is a member of our chamber and is interested in inviting our members and the public to come on in and see your business and have a glass of wine and visit with everybody, those are from 4 to 6 p.m. We're flexible on the day. We're looking at 4th Thursday as our preference, but we're glad to work with folks. I know we're looking at Windrose Wine Cellar is looking at a date in February. It looks like it's probably going to be a Friday, which would be kind of a nice way to go. So those are our 3 sort of monthly repetitive opportunities to get together, network, and learn. And of course, our lunches, I talked about our special lunches, but usually we bring in an informational topic. And coming up on January 28th, which is just next Tuesday, Regan Nichols will be with us to talk about the proposals by the Sequim School District that are on the ballot that I believe the election, your ballots are due by February 11th. So it's timely, and our sponsor for that luncheon is Seroptimist, who's going to talk about their new scholarship. So that's a great way to mingle, if you will, and get to know other members. But we try to program in information that is valuable. I do have a representative from the Washington CARES Act, the long-term care trust. They're going to come out, and now that everything's sort of been shaken out in the wash, they're going to come out and do a presentation for a luncheon coming this spring. I don't remember which one. I believe it's in April, to come and share information with employers about what that exactly means. As we get closer to the Washington Saves deadline in 2027, we'll be bringing out L&I to share with that as well. So if you're a member and you ever want to request a speaker or a topic, I'm all ears. We're talking about doing maybe a roundtable with maybe some of our nonprofit or business services businesses in the area as we build out this calendar for the year. I try not to jam it all up in January because sometimes things come up during the year that we need to make room for a speaker. So the calendar's a little bit fluid right now. We do have spaces, so I'm open to suggestion. I'm very excited about this. This starts on January 31st. This is the marketing logo, but I thought it was a great graphic, so I just went ahead with it. Peninsula College has been working with both myself and Mark Absher over in Port Angeles on a leadership academy for the college. It's a 6-month program that starts on January 31st, working with the chambers with a project, and I'm excited to be involved. This is not something I've ever had the pleasure to do. My husband's an educator, but never in my life did I think I'd be working on curriculum with professional educators and working with Peninsula College. What an amazing team. So I'm very excited. I think the first round of students is around 15 students. They'll be divvied up into teams to tackle the projects Mark and I have proposed. And Christian Brun, I believe, is the leader on the instruction side for Peninsula College for this. It's just a really great opportunity. If you've got young staff or staff that wants to grow their skill set, I think this is a great thing to look at as an investment in your staff. If a company is willing to share the cost of the tuition or even foot the bill, if you've got somebody that you'd really like to see grow their skill set, I'm really excited to be a part of this year. And coming out the other side, I'll have a lot better view of what that's going to look like for all of us, I think. Is there anybody else with a hand up, Mitch?
Not currently.
Great, thank you.
That being said, I mean, this is coming up here, what, in a little over a week. Is there any
Next Friday.
thoughts? Are they still accepting registrations?
I believe so. I believe so, that if there was anybody out there at the last minute, if you can't get through on the link, I'd call the college. Like I said, there's only 15. I think that, the goal was actually, I think a dozen was the original goal. And now we were all like, well, maybe we can get to 20.
Awesome.
So, and if anybody wants to send me an email, I am director. What was that?
Sorry about that. That was a background noise.
No, no worries. I am director at sequimchamber.com. So if you want any further information or can't, or the link for whatever reason isn't working, there's also a link on our website at sequimchamber.com that you can click through on this. They're still working out the details of each session, but it's 2 sessions a month. It's not, onerous in its time commitment. It's significant chunks of time each of those days. It's 2 to 4 hours, depending on what it is. But I think it's going to be a really great opportunity for young folks to learn. And even though it's not intentionally so, I think it ties in nicely to the tourism master plan. In talking about building out leaders here and that know here, that know our culture, that know, and those of us who transplanted here, as I said, I came here, I called it my 2 years of culture shock. If you're not from here, you have to kind of learn the culture of the area. So why not help our students be those leaders as people come in? So I'm excited about this program.
Absolutely. Daniel asked if it's in virtual fashion or in person.
It's in person.
In
It's
person.
in person. There's
Great.
field trips involved as well.
Oh, field trips.
Yeah. We're going to do some visits to some historic landmarks and businesses and have classes in a couple different locations. I believe we'll be at the Swim Museum at one point. We'll be at the River Center at one point. We'll be at the college, I think, for most of the sessions, but there's some other field trips involved. So it will be in person.
Awesome.
This is next. And applications are open through next Friday at 4 p.m. You can get to the link at sequimchamber.com/COTY for Citizen of the Year. Nominations are for people that live within the Sequim school district boundary. That's the footprint of the chamber officially. So we did have a nomination that fell just outside the circle last year, which we all felt badly we didn't catch right away as a staff. Staff doesn't review these applications. The only people that get to vote on who participates, as long as the criteria are met and the application is complete, are the previous year's winners of Citizen of the Year in Sequim. So it's always a really great meeting. We get these folks together once a year. Our eldest member is Bob Clark. I hope I'll see him this year. He was unable to join last year, but Judy Stipe joins us. And this year, our newest winner was Renee Brock from the college. So we'll be meeting the second week in February to review applications and to get their vote. We have 2 different awards. One has not been awarded since 2016. It's called the Humanitarian Award. It has a financial contribution requirement for folks who've contributed more than $500,000 to nonprofit and volunteer type spaces in the year or in the years previous. Previous winners, Brown and Sarah Maloney, Bill and Esther Littlejohn, and others. I think we've had about 8 winners under that category. For Citizen of the Year, we've had a winner all but I think 1 year since 1968. Peter Black won the first award, mayor of Sequim. And so I'm excited about this program. I believe we'll be back at the Cedars at Dungeness. I haven't confirmed the contract yet, so I want to be careful how I say that. But February 28th will be the luncheon, and I believe we'll be back at the Cedars, where we will announce our winner, and the finalists will be announced in a press release around the the 3rd week of February. So the committee chooses 3 finalists that we feature that are announced, and then a winner is declared at the luncheon. This is a new program for us. I proposed that we do this as a joint when it came up at an irrigation festival meeting of the marketing team. This graphic is still under construction. It's a draft, so you haven't seen anywhere else yet because I haven't got approval to put it out in the world. But this is my draft. The fellow in the upper right corner, that's Sid, the Sequim irrigation dude. And Gene Wyatt came up with this design, and the idea that the irrigation festival in the lower right, you'll see their logo for this year. They have a new logo every year. So how do we have a cohesive marketing with a logo folks can recognize? So anyway, somebody said, well, what if we told the story of Sid? And I went, story contest. So we're working with the irrigation festival. We're hoping to launch the press releases this week out before the end of the week and get this on social media. We're going to build a team of reviewers. It's 2 different opportunities, a 5,000 word or less short story in any genre, as long as it's family friendly, or a poem of 20 lines or less, including the facts about Sid. And the facts about Sid are pretty simple. He's a farmer in the Dungeness Valley, and he has some sort of super skill or superpower, perhaps. And there's a couple of other factors to go into that. We'll be taking accepting submissions until February 28th on this. And we're going to be working with Olympic Peninsula authors, Blue Hole Gallery, Pacific Mist Books, and some others on building out a review team. We'll have folks review them blind. And we're working with Olympic Printing and Mailing, or Olympic Mailing and Printing, to print a book of the submissions that will then be for sale both at the Innovative Arts and Crafts Fair during Irrigation Festival this year, but also at the Visitor Center through the summer. So we're really excited. The winners will have opportunities to read their stories at various different events, including Innovative Arts and Crafts, the kickoff dinner in March. So this is a fun one for me. One of the things I have done since I've lived on the peninsula is I joined Olympic Peninsula Authors and wrote short stories. I'm in the first 3 of their anthologies. Which was super fun for me. And I used to run a writing group when I was the activity director at the lodge at Sherwood Village. And I pulled together anthologies of their works a couple of different times and printed books for them to share with their families. And so I'm really excited to get to be a part of this and work with the Irrigation Festival team on a joint project with the Chamber of Commerce. So watch for alerts for more details. This is our project with Peninsula College. It's a little bare right now because we're not there yet, but this is what we're working toward as our project, is a women in business group under the umbrella of the Sequim Chamber of Commerce. I'm looking to partner with United Way, with Women United, and with the Seroptimus group. They've already heard from me that they know that I'm going to be reaching out. What I would like to do is create network building opportunities for women. I would like to create a Women in Business 2-day seminar for working smart, working safe, with a lot of different opportunities for learning and gathering. But the big one for me is I want to create some mentorship opportunities, not just with peers, but I think that's important too, but in our schools. And I think the Chamber of Commerce does not take a stand one way or the other on tax increases. It's our board of directors. We do not make political decisions, and we do not speak for our members about whether or not we support or don't support taxes and levies. As a human being, Beth Pratt, I have spent some time in our schools, and I have seen our facilities in not great shape. And I have seen that opportunities for some of our students aren't what I would love to see. There are some sports and other club activities that would offer up some scholarship opportunities. Those are things I can't solve for. But creating a mentorship program for young women who want to go into business or into something else. Colleen Robinson and I had a great conversation about some other directions we could go in partnerships by supporting each other in other opportunities for young women on the peninsula. So I'm passionate about it. I'm not sure exactly what form it exactly takes as we go forward, but I'm very excited. Erin Kennedy and I talked about a Women in Business 2-day seminar for September of this year. So I'm absolutely working that direction. We'll be looking for sponsors, speakers, seminar holders. I'm very excited about this program, but this will be a program that our students will be working on in the leadership program. We'll be divvying up some tasks, looking for opportunities, and creating sort of the structure, the scaffolding to create this program around. So I'm very excited. Stay tuned. And these are some of our big events that are returning. These are the marketing from this past year. Your Sequim Chamber of Commerce is the organizer for Sequim's Downtown Trick or Treat. We are not the biggest player in the game on that one. Our merchants spend hundreds of dollars to treat children to Halloween goodies up and down Washington Street. We just compile the list and market it and make sure everybody knows what's going on and where it's going to be. We saw about 2,000 people in downtown Sequim this year for Halloween, which is unbelievable. And that's based on geofencing data I was able to get from a report I requested from someone after they gave me a sales pitch for a product I can't afford, but I was grateful to have the report in my hot little hands. Hometown Holidays, again, we'll be growing that out with our lighted tractor cruise, which is in partnership, of course, with the Sequim Museum and Arts. And our business showcase, it'll be the, I believe, the first Tuesday in October this year. I think it's October 7th. That we'll be working forward for that. It is a fun event. We've been able to add more interactive stuff, bringing in Peninsula party booths, Southern Nibble food truck. They open the bar at Sunland for us. Everybody's got a highball in one hand as they walk around. We've got restaurant vendors that bring in samples. We had entire Thanksgiving dinner going on in the corner with Black Bear Diner last year. So it was a lot of fun last year, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We're usually at Sunland for this. I expect we will be again this year. They're a great host, and we've had a great time with them over the years. So watch for that coming this fall. And our next luncheon, like I said, it's coming up on Tuesday of next week at 11:30. We're at Sunland. We're going to be, our lunch menu will be a taco salad with cookies for dessert. I figure I would love to serve cheesecake every lunch, but if I do that, all of us are going to need a nap by 1:30. But I'm very excited to have Sequim School District and Reagan Nichols come to talk with us about the need for bond support for our community, for our schools and our students. So those were sort of my thoughts to share today, but I did also want to just take a quick opportunity. If it's okay with y'all, I'm going to change my screen here. I would like to show you our Sunny Sequim guide for this year. This is a digital magazine. This is our second edition. Again, the link is on our homepage at sequimchamber.com. This is an electronic publication we do have done out of area. We're working with Sound Publishing on a couple of projects this year, more than just our annual report and quarterly. We're going to be working on a map this year. But this document has been a lot of fun to work on. I need to move the screen because I can't change the page. And it's got advertising in it. But what I wanted to show you was the opportunity that it has to show video in line. It's not going to do it. So this is the video from the tractor cruise in 2023, and it just plays on the page. And it's a series of photographs. A woman, a local photographer had put together. She gave me permission to share this from her YouTube. This has been a great publication for us. If anyone listening would like to have the link to this, to just link to it on your own website. The cover story is about the totem poles of the Jamestown S'Klallam tribe. We featured a story about the granary. Some of the content we write in-house, like we featured our volunteers and some of our event photography from the year in this one. But I love this idea where you can just watch the video and it's muted when you open it. So if you're watching it at work, you don't have to worry about it blasting through the speakers. But we were able to feature a number of great stories this year. Their writers work with us to create this every year. It just launched end of October this year, and we'll be working on it again starting about April for the coming year for ad sales and going forward. But I just wanted to share this with you all, that it's a really cool publication. And I encourage you to go take a look and read through it. There's some really good stories this year.
That's awesome. Really cool resource.
And it's one of the ways that we've driven traffic back to our website. And I just wanted to share some statistics. This year, we had 223,000 page views at sequimchamber.com. And on Facebook, we had 107 page views, or no, 107 interactions, 107,000 interactions with 10,000 visits to our Facebook profile page. That's not insignificant, and it's significant growth. And I don't have an annual report with me with the data from last year, but it's a lot more than last year. And we reached about 74,000 individual unique users on Facebook alone. I didn't look at our data from Instagram. I don't use it as much. So anyway, that was a little bit of that. Magazine is part of how we've been able to drive some traffic, which has been wonderful, that digital magazine. So I just want to share some of that with you all, but I'd be glad to take questions or clarify anything if I just rambled right through some thoughts here.
Those statistics are significant. I mean, that's a lot of traffic coming through and promoting Sequim. So congratulations. Kind of shows the testament to your dual role as the executive director and also a marketer at the same time. How are you going about getting that type of traffic?
So we are really active on social media, and almost all of our social media posts drive you back to the website. It's very self-feeding and very intentional. We also, because we've really worked with our members to understand that the events calendar is important to our neighbors, use it. It gets a ton of traction. The directory, we promote it throughout the year. it gets a lot of looks because, you know, you're getting, I mean, 223 people are going to sequimchamber.com. How many do you think are looking for the directory? Tens of thousands. They're looking for phone numbers and information. Visit Sunny Sequim, of course, is the tourism website by the city of Sequim, which we also host as part of our contract as a visitor center. But we are constantly driving traffic backward to our website for folks to find information. And our mandate is to inform, advocate, and support. Those three words, I carry them with me everywhere I go. The mission statement, I cannot rattle it off the top of my head. I know what it says, but I don't have it memorized. But those are the three words that matter the most to me. And informing and making sure our members have access to good data, good information, and then making sure we're supporting them with marketing tools. We promoted the sales of the coupon packs and tote bags simply through social media. We didn't press release it. We didn't really do anything with radio on that one. And we did 2 different rounds of sales this year, and we've sold a couple hundred just through social media. So we also encourage people, go take a look. Go look for a member, go read about us, go look for more information. We have community demographics, opportunities to volunteer are available right there. So folks looking that are new to Sequim, looking to plug into the community, we're a good opportunity for that. And because we are a visitor center as well, of course, we have folks that search for us. We get questions just because people want to relocate to Sequim and they find us looking for that information. That's a service we provide. Our gold and platinum members are invited to put marketing materials in those packets that we mail out. We mail out several hundred a year to relocating people and tourists, folks that want to know more before they come to visit.
Right. For those who haven't seen the Sequim Visitor Center, it got a pretty major facelift last year, I believe. Was that last year?
23, yeah.
23. So yeah. So go check it out. It's pretty impressive what we were able to do. And I think it's unique that the Sequim Chamber actually owns the visitor center as well.
We are uniquely positioned financially in a couple of ways. We have really great reserve funds that we've been able to invest. A lot of that is thanks to Lori Fazio, who did the research on CD rates and what the best options would be for investing the level of funds that we had in hands. And then that we own our property is unusual, that we do not have to rent office space or co-partner with another facility. We are just the visitor center and Chamber of Commerce offices in our building. And the facelift was absolutely needed. We had been a gray building with a gray parking lot and a gray roof for too long. So we painted the building white with green trim, painted the doors purple, because of course we did. Got new signage up, and we do have a bicycle repair stand. As many of you know, we're located right on the Discovery Trail. And as a cyclist myself, I'm really grateful to know I can go out there and there's tools if I need a repair, and there's an air up station if I need air in my tires.
Great. Matt Hewish had a comment. He said, super impressive, great energy, vision, leadership, and execution. Thank you for Beth for all you do for Sequim and the Olympic Peninsula.
Oh, he's so kind. I am so lucky. I work with an amazing team at the city of Sequim. Barb Hanna and I are in contact at least weekly. You know, it's no, we don't. I'll answer Pat's question. No, we don't. Just our building and our parking lot. But working with the city of Sequim, be it facilities, be it park and rec or park and facilities, pardon me, be it public works, standing up that Christmas tree and getting the lights on it. The city of Sequim is an amazing partner for us. And Barb and I work together a lot, especially in the tourism side. Not only are we a visitor center, but all of our salaries are tied to tourism as well, to support the city of Sequim and the Peninsula. So we, of course, work with the Tourism Council. We work with all of our local festivals and sit on a number of different boards and committees to help support all of those. But I'm very grateful to have Matt Hewish and Barb and Hannah and Marin. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The city staff has just been outrageously great to work with.
Excellent. I know that Christmas tree was sure impressive this year. It was actually my neighbors. They cut it out of their front yard.
Really? They were at Hometown Holidays and came down and talked with us.
I heard that
the tree.
Yeah. I heard it was a bittersweet to see it up there because it was basically in there since they built that house.
And it
Oh,
was a beautiful tree. It was a
absolutely.
particularly beautiful tree this year.
Absolutely.
And our friend Dave Blakesley of the Sequim Valley Lions said, hey, it looks like your sleigh could use an upgrade. So he
Oh,
took it home for a winter project. She's getting a new paint job. I'm pretty excited. So our Santa Claus will arrive next year to a freshly polished sleigh for photo opportunities.
excellent. Excellent. Any other questions from the group? Oh, right here, Lori's. Oh, I got a few coming in. Perfect. Look at
Hey, Lori, look at you. I love that. That's really great. So I'll go to your question. I'll come down here to you, John. So yes, I did mention the after hours. Those are available for members to book. We only do one a month. So if folks want in, um, we just need a phone call so we can schedule that. Again, it's a member benefit. Another member benefit, and thank you, Lori, for pointing this out, ribbon cuttings. I should have mentioned that. I think we did about 35 last year. So every year, our members are entitled to a ribbon cutting. People go, but I already opened. Well, we'll do an anniversary. We just did one with Northwest Fitness and Wellness. Why not? It's fun. It makes a great photo op. It's a good opportunity to throw an open house and invite new customers in, and a great way to have chamber members and ambassadors come in. And the ambassador program, it's been another one of those post-COVID, like bringing people back into it. When I was working in senior care, I found ribbon cuttings to be the best use of my chamber membership to be present at, because then I got to meet other business owners, people who could afford the services I was selling, which sounds a little mercenary, but we're in business to do business. And so we've been working on recruiting and finding new partners in ambassadoring, if you will. We show up with our purple scissors and our purple ribbon. We take a lot of photos, and then the business who does the ribbon cutting has access back to all of those photos for their own promotional tools. So we do those as well. And we love doing them. They're a lot of fun. We always kick off Lavender Festival. Last year, we got to do something with Irrigation Festival. We did a ribbon cutting before the Trashin' show. And if you've not seen the Trashin' show, I know it's going to be coming around again this year. It's outrageous. Folks creating fashion out of trash. So thank you for bringing that up, Lori. That's a great member benefit. I didn't rattle off member benefits. I thought I'd talk about programs, but that's a big one. I should have thought of that. Purple is always encouraged. That's right. I actually bought a plum colored artificial leather jacket this year because I always forget my vest. So John's questions wanted to know more about I can dive deeper into it, John. I just haven't yet. I'll be working on my annual report soon. I just did a quick glance at Google Analytics before I jumped on this call. So there is demographic breakdown. I know on Facebook, 75% of it's female traffic. I can tell you that because I find it fascinating. Most of it over the age of 35. But on our website traffic, I have not delved into the demographics yet, but will be for my annual report and for my reporting back to the city of Sequim for the year 2024. So that's a great question, but we will be digging into that. So as we get ready, that publishes in March. And so somewhere around the early part of February, I'll have a better answer for you.
excellent.
Thank you for your question, John.
Yeah, I mean, that could potentially attract some of these professional roles. I mean, just getting Sequim on the map, and I think you've done a great job of that.
We've been working on our network of connection also with other chambers of commerce in our region. So for example, working with, yes, I accidentally met the vice president of the company that owns Port Gamble because I wandered into the store looking for information and he happened to be there. I have contacts with the Poulsbo, Greater Kitsap, Bremerton, Gig Harbor, and Bainbridge chambers of commerce, and working with them has made it a lot easier to get our posters further out of field without paying for like flyer delivery and brochure delivery. And working with them and being connected in with Association of Washington Businesses and the Chamber of Commerce Executives Group to, again, just continue to push our footprint out and make ourselves available. In my head, my slogan for this year is we can help with that. Because we can. I may not have the answer, but I know who does. And I'm absolutely here for it. We are a hub of information. And we're building out things like lists of performers if you're looking to hire performers in the Sequim Dungeness Valley area. We're looking at a list of meeting rooms, that kind of thing too, just to make sure we have tools at our disposal that our members need and our community needs. What we do is to support a healthy economy, but a healthy economy is supported by a healthy community. And these community events like hometown holidays and Halloween may not sound like super merchant driven. They are, but they're also for our neighbors. They're for our neighbors and friends, you know, to continue to that cohesive sense of community in Sequim is special. People are proud to be from Sequim and to be in Sequim. And I'm really grateful that we can continue to march in that direction, that we're not just about dollars and cents, but we're about the community.
Absolutely. Have you mentioned or spoke about the herd yet?
The herd is our monthly newsletter. Thank you. Our members supply information to that. It's a great, if you're not on my distribution list, even if you're not a member, we can absolutely do that. It's on our news and archive page every month. I'm currently waiting for our new page to be updated. We've had a redesign on our website and I'm just sort of waiting for launch. It should happen this week. So the December and January newsletters, I don't think are up there yet because I was waiting while we went through this redesign, but because then it's just one more thing to change later. But we put it out, it's as many as, sometimes it's 45 pages. We put it out as a flip book via email. We promote it on Facebook. Again, that makes sure our members' advertisements and announcements get around the community. But it's a tool for our members to market, and it's a tool for us to communicate with our neighbors and community. So the herd comes out around the 5th of every month. Everybody's newsletters go out on the 1st. So I figured I'm not even trying for that. So we go out on the 5th. So that we're a little bit outside the glut of newsletters that show up in your inbox. But it has links to register for our events, flyer information about our events, as well as opportunities to join us for other things, schedules for upcoming ribbon cuttings. We added a section last year that I called New Faces and New Places. That doesn't count as an ad, but if you have a new hire, promotion, somebody you want to feature, send me a picture in 3 sentences, and as a member, we'll feature that person. So the Fire District 3 just had someone promoted to a new role. So if you look in the herd for January, you see an outline of that role and what they're doing with it. And we have unlimited announcements for our members. So if you want to throw out, you know, hey, I've got a special, we have a new opportunity for business partnerships, we're going to have a concert, you know, whatever that is. So there's opportunities for our members to communicate with fellow members and the community at large every month. Our open rate's between 30 and 35%, which is not as good as I'd like it to be, but we're getting there. You know, we're growing that as well.
Great. Well, I mean, oh, we got one more. Harmony said this has been incredibly helpful, and I agree.
Thank you, Harmony.
Absolutely. I just wanted to thank you for all the hard work you've done in promoting Sequim. I'm looking forward to being president-elect this year and president the following year, and looking forward to another 95 years. I mean, it's pretty cool. 95-year-old chamber. We'll have to do something for the 100th. I mean, that's coming up, something big.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm doing things, I'm looking for some grant funding for some fun things that until I'm sure I can secure the funding, I don't want to talk about too much, but I have some other facility things I'd like to do. I like to think of us as a welcome zone. And I guess the one thing I didn't touch on is how many visitors do we actually see at a visitor center in a town of 7,500 people? About 8,000.
Wow.
And yes, we do see a lot of locals. Our HOAs all come in to get information from us. It's great. If you live in our area and you haven't been in the visitor center, come on by. We have stuff you might want. But we see about 3,500 of those visitors in July and August. So we put, you know, we have picnic tables, outdoor seating. We're working on making ourselves really comfortable for our guests when they come.
Great. Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining the Sequim, or excuse me, the Clallam EDC Coffee Chat with the Sequim Chamber of Commerce and Beth Pratt. Next week, we will have Josh Weiss and Colleen Miners from Gordon Thomas Honeywell. They are state lobbyists that lobby for NOLA. So that'll be exciting to get an update on some of the initiatives that they're working on. Hope you can join us for that. And besides that, enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Good to see you all. Thank you.